Welcome. Team No Excuses presents the Ray Lewis Show. Let me ask you something real quick. I know we're going through a lot in our world right now. Have you ever tried to smile the entire day? Just really, just smile the entire day. No matter if somebody make you mad, something doesn't go right, something doesn't go wrong. I'm telling you, I tried that all last week, man. And I'm telling you, it changes your perspectives. When you're driving in traffic, you're not arguing with the person who's on their phone or going slow, or it's so many things that you get rid of with just a smile. I'm telling you, this week is it's one of those weeks that you got to grab what the next 20 minutes is all about. Because if you don't, it's hard. It's hard to build anything, but it's hard to keep hold of anything. That's one of the keys to life. A lot of people build things, but it's very few people who hold on to them. I want to bring my guy in, man, because we've been talking about some stuff that we just want to have conversations with you all about. And without further ado, I'm going to go to championship mentality and bring my man Coach on in here. Coach, what is going on, brother? As always, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. What's good with you?
Hey, man, you know, the same old thing, man. I got this energy because we did something and we realized what we're going to talk about today. Look, the last few weeks, right, Coach, we've been talking about reinventing yourself. We've been talking about the standard of excellence. But T, it's hard to reinvent yourself without a plan, right? Excellence is hard to capture without a plan. So the conversation today is, what is the plan? That's where we at, Coach.
Wow, that's a good one, man. I know we talked back, and those that have been following us for a while, we talked about this principle in depth on championship mentality, about how important this principle of planning is. But I think it's good, man, that you want to revisit it because of the state of the world, because we're in a pandemic, because it's just so much sadness and crime and everything else you want to name going on in this world. And sometimes you have to look and say, what is my plan for the times that we're living in? And so today is a good reset for somebody to ask themselves, like, here's the situation the world is in. Here's the situation I'm in. What is my plan?
What's the plan? What's the plan? Somebody at home has to answer that. No matter where you are in life, no matter what age you are, what's the plan for your life? I tell you, an hour of planning saves 10 hours of doing. So imagine this, right? Imagine you taking an hour, and you remember this. I took hours of planning.
Oh, yeah.
Right? To plan out everything. From what I eat, what I drink, everything, bro, we planned it out. And I'm telling you, everything that we planned was easier to execute, even though it still took faith.
Yeah, and it's go take faith. And bro, I'm so glad you said that, man, because after every off season, after we revisit where we need to improve upon the body, we used to always kind of like go over your goals for the year, and whether it was league MVP or defensive MVP, and man, we would write those things down, man, and make a plan to be in the best position to achieve those goals. And we lived it and we did it. And so today, man, it's just so important that we even ask ourselves, some may be at the point, do you even have a plan?
Do you have a plan? That's the question of the day for our audience. Are you at home? Are you drifting every day? Are you searching the web? Are you going through all of these things in life and you don't work on your plan? Not in a 24-hour span. How many times do you actually sit there and meditate and work on your plan? See, that's the question of the day. That's the question of the day.
Wow.
Preparation. We learned this. We learned this when I was in the league for 17 plus years. We learned this. Preparation is the key to success. I don't have to stress going into a game when I prepared all week long. When I made the time for it, T. When I made the time for it. Because you do got to make a choice.
You know, last week, man, we talked about excellence, and we talked about how, how excellent people really don't like to be average, how they have high standards for themselves.
Yeah.
But do you know an average person with a plan is better than a person of excellence without one? I mean, you could be intelligent and not have no plan. You could be a good person and have no plan. And so what we've learned, we talked about that principle of planning, but maybe today and even going forward for somebody, it's time to look again at that vision and that plan and to say, okay, even if it's just pandemic related, what's your plan? Like whether you're getting vaccinated or unvaccinated, we don't discuss politics and religion and all that stuff people be talking about in the world, but whether you vaccinated or unvaccinated, you still have to have a plan. Are you vaccinated or unvaccinated? But when you go to the grocery store, you getting these things filled with sugar? Are you getting these sodas? Are you getting all these things that really tear down the immune system? So whether you in that fight and divisiveness of are you vaccinated or not, championship mentality talk today is about what's your plan beyond that?
What's your plan beyond that?
Yeah, if health is the most important thing, the health of our mind, body, and spirit at this point in life, what is your plan to achieve that sense of peace and that sense of achievement? And that's where we are.
Yeah, see, listen, because we have to share this. The only reason that it wasn't this big, strong, it was none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. The only reason that successful people achieve incredible things is because they write down multiple plans. It ain't just one. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how you get to the point. Look, 7 and 8 may not even make it. Mm-hmm. But because you have plans written, this goes back to the book. And we spoke about this principle, but it's hard to just reinvent yourself. When I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm riding my bike. I'm like, ooh, reinvent yourself. Now you got to have a plan to reinvent yourself. And then if you're going to chase excellence, you really got to have a plan if you're going to chase excellence. But if you ain't got a plan, then you worry about everybody else's business and you worry about all the gossip that's going on in the world, and who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated. And the question is, whether you are or not, what are you going to do with your life? And how do you become the example of what our world should be seeing? Bro,
hey, I like what you said earlier, man, talking about that preparation is the key to being success. And we talked about it before, man. Preparation and planning, man, is proof of your belief. Like if you believe you want to be Defensive Player of the Year, we plan for it, we prepared for it, we execute it. If you plan that you going on a wedding or going to get married, you start preparing for it. You plan for it. And a lot of it is by faith. And before we go, man, because I know we're in and out today, as we're talking about these plans and these visions, I think it's important for all of us to make sure that it's in line with our purpose.
Yeah. The biggest key.
Because if you out there just doing things.
Listen, I just want to help you. Because if it doesn't align with your purpose, then you just go into a job every day. Then now you're stressed out because you're making money, but while you're making money can't make you happy no more. So even though if it don't align with your purpose, I'm gonna tell you something. See, listen to me. This Chinese proverb, bro. I was just reading through some stuff, and it's just so interesting because it says, "Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still." Think about this. Think about the trajectory of where we came from, the first day we met, and how we never stopped moving.
Still haven't stopped.
Never stopped, right? No matter how slow the process is. And sometimes through that process, through those years, there was surgeries, right? There was setbacks. There was all of these things. But we never stood still. The thing about a plan is you can't stand still in a plan. No matter, I don't care if you watch the stock market up, down, you can drive yourself crazy doing that. But what you can count on is a consistent growth. And nobody dictates that but your effort.
Mm. You know, it's the story in the Bible of these ladies, Mary and Martha, and
Oh
King
boy.
Jesus. King Jesus was coming by to visit their crib, and Martha, she just started cooking and started getting busy and doing this and doing that, and got kind of upset that people wasn't helping her. And Jesus gave her a simple answer, man, and it was a leadership answer. And he said, Martha, very few things are necessary. And so as you're going out into your plan and this vision, because the vision simplifies your life. We talked about that. When you got a vision, it's narrow, it's tight. Right. See, when you know where you're going, you know what roads won't need you there. When you know where you're going, you know what company you can't carry with you. So that saves you a lot of time. You're talking about, you know, this planning and preparation save you 10 years. When you know where you're going, if I'm working out, I'm focused on my immune system. Yeah. If you get a call and somebody say, let's go to the club, let's have some shots, this just as an example, it's easy for you to say no.
Easy.
Because it don't align with your vision, your plan, and where you're trying to go. But if you don't have a plan and you don't have a vision, it's tough for you to say no. You kind of leave yourself open to anything. And so as we go forth, man, into this great week of celebrating Martin Luther King, man, and just still trying to keep a smile on our face in the midst of all this, make sure you revisit your plan and refine it. Sometime it changed, but just remember that plan and that vision should be in line with your purpose. And if it's not helping other people, then that may be not a vision from God. That just may be a goal.
A job.
And so let's get into it, man. We got to save time. Well, not save time, because time have no respect for nobody. We got to maximize our use of time, even in this pandemic. So how do we do that? It's just like you said on your first point, man. Let's make a plan and go down the list and execute that plan, man, and get close to where we're trying to go.
So watch this, and this is, I think from what we created, what we did, right? The key is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Do you remember the calendar books on how we scheduled out every meal, every workout, every prayer station, every prayer? Do you remember when we wrote all of those things out?
It was narrow because we had a vision and a plan. And so, again, that may be a nugget for somebody today. Like, we were not born to do everything. Like, we were not born to solve every problem. It's something that you were called to do within that purpose. You know, the problem is if you're doing something and you like, you know what, I'm called to do this, I'm called to do that. You know what? A calling is when God calls you. That's why it's called a calling. You don't dictate. It comes from God. And so when we're making these plans, man, I'm about to be 54 years old tomorrow, Friday. And so I don't have time. I don't have time to be running around the roses. I don't have time to be on a treadmill not going anywhere. Time is my most important thing. And how do I maximize my time? With a plan. And so as we go forth into our championship mentality, dealing with the effects of the world and the things we're in, revisit those plans. And for some, it may be developing the plan and writing it down.
The good book says, write the vision and make it plain. It's that simple. Write the vision and make it plain. Hey, Coach, you are absolutely amazing, brother. I'll catch up with you later. Martin Luther King week has been absolutely amazing. The knowledge that that man has is absolutely amazing. The forward thinking that he was already doing way back when. It's people like him that wrote the plan. They wrote it. Coach, I love you, brother.
Hey, love for life, man. But just remember, I know I said it earlier, but it's so important for our team and somebody to get this, man. An average person with a plan is better than a person of excellence without one. So let's get to work.
Coach, let's get to work, man. I appreciate you, brother. Love you, man.
One love.
You know, it's something interesting. Every play in athletics, I don't care what sport it is, every play needs a plan. Without a plan, it's hard to execute the play. I just want you to think about when you're watching, whatever you're watching, every TV show has a play. It has a plan. Listen, if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, not the goal. This week, we have to understand what's at stake in our lives. If you have too many options from hard routes in your life, then that can ruin any plan. I'm telling you, if you give yourself options on ways out, or with some things you got to go through, let me share something with you. And I want you to think about the world that we're in and so many crazy things going on. But I want you to think about where you mentally go sometimes. Instagram has a plan. Twitter has a plan. Facebook has a plan. All social media sites have their plan. This week, I want to see if you can spend time on your plan. Because everybody else got their thing going on. But we asking for different things in our lives, but we're doing the same things and looking for different results. It's impossible. We're around the same people. We're listening to the same music. It can't happen. A plan, a narrow plan. That's why the good book says, write the vision and make it plain. But this week, the challenge is simple. Let everybody else take care of their plan. It's time for you to write yours. God bless you. Thank you for joining us this week. Ray Lewis Show, Team No Excuses. It gets absolutely no better. God bless you.